Hello, my viewers. Welcome back to the channel. And by the video title, you know what this video is about. Steelers versus Bucs game preview for preseason. I did a game preview in a long time. If you guys are new to the channel, you know the game previews always consist of me talking about both teams. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of both teams on both sides of the ball and talk about some of my favorite players to watch on both teams as well. Of course, my team, the Steelers, it would be varied throughout the weeks. But gonna be very fun to see. Very fun to see. We're getting back to this game preview. As you know, the segments that happen through the season be the game previews. It's the what's the other video I used to do? The can we adjust? So can we adjust? Be a question asked most of the time before the games, like or after a game, or talking about some players, game MVPs. Another video I used to do as well. So all those segments are coming back. So stay tuned for those. We have a lot more content coming. So if you are a fan of sports, football, basketball, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. And especially if you're a fan of the Miami Heat and the Pittsburgh Steelers, go ahead and subscribe to this channel because a lot of content is about to come out. But starting off first with the Buccaneers. The pros for the Buccaneers, I like Elijah Cansey a lot. I had him on the draft board for the Steelers to maybe take the defensive tackle. Very versatile, very good. I think he'll be something special, especially with the right team, too. Todd Bowles is a good defensive coordinator. He's the head coach right now for the Buccaneers. I don't like him as a head coach too much because he doesn't have that extra umph. You know that extra umph. Like you look at both sides, look at Mike Tomlin or Coach Tomlin, you look at Todd Bowles, Coach Bowles as well. You kind of like compare the two. They both are good defensively, defensive-minded coaches. But Coach Tomlin has that extra umph, that stuff you can't teach, where he can go out there and lead a group of people. Todd Bowles doesn't have that extra energy. You kind of like when Steve Nash was coaching the Nets. We know Steve Nash is a great strategist. He's a great trainer. He was training a lot of guys in Golden State, got to the Nets, opportunity there. His schemes and stuff would be cool, but you just need that guy who had that extra umph to get guys motivated, to bring that extra fire and that wheel out of players. I just don't see that with Todd Bowles like that. I see the strategy, but I don't see that like that extra umph with him. So hopefully maybe he finds it this year. But I like him better as defensive coordinator. But him being the coach of Elijah Cansey is a good thing too as well, because Elijah can go out there and make some plays all over the field. And that front four, having that like a dominant defensive player is always great. I think he has potential to be that too. We see another guy from Pittsburgh who was very dominant defensive lineman named Aaron Donald. I ain't saying Elijah Cansey gonna be Aaron Donald, but you never know what could happen. He has that potential, the size and the ability and the quickness and the strength and power to go out there and make plays. So it's gonna be cool to see him and what he does. Another thing too is that they're kind of in a rebuild year a little bit. I know some of the players say it's not a rebuild year, but if you look at the team and look at the roster, they lost Tom Brady, who is one of the best, in my opinion, the best quarterback ever, and he's one of the best players in NFL history. They lost him, he retired. So they kind of in the QB search a little bit. So that's one of the cons for me, the QB position. And another con for me is probably the O-line a little bit, because they did lose some pieces on the O-line. I believe Ron Jensen is not there anymore. I could be mistaken, though. I could be mistaken, but I think Ron Jensen left. I know last year he had a lot of injuries and stuff that was dealing with them, dealing with a lot. But I think he's gone. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's gone. But the team they're in a rebuild year, so you can try a lot of new things. So you can try out things like your offense and your defense and see what works. Their secondary lost some pieces. They struggled last year, so that's gonna be a spot where people might try to look and attack. But overall, I think the Buccaneers, they're a team that's kind of in a rebuild stage. They might not say it, but they're kind of in a rebuild stage. The quarterback position, Baker Mayfield, he has his moments. He's an all right quarterback. He's not terrible, but he's all right. And Kyle Trask, we haven't really seen too much of him, so we don't know exactly what they have at quarterback and the health concerns of the receivers like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. They're good receivers, but they always get hurt at a certain point in the season. So we're going to see what happens with the Buccaneers throughout the year. But in this preseason game right here, all eyes are going to be on Elijah Cansey for most of the part, and probably some of the O-line a little bit to see then the rookie O-line they drafted as well, and then the edge rusher they drafted from he's from LSU, if I'm not mistaken. Are they going to look at those guys and try to see if they can build around those pieces? Now moving on to the Steelers pros and cons. The Steelers pros, they have a lot of depth. They have a lot of depth on offense and defense. Last year, we had a lack of depth. And the year before that, same thing. We kind of tied up money-wise. and we had a lack of depth on defense. So when guys went down, we was pulling guys off from practice squads and all type of stuff, and we was struggling in the secondary. We were struggling as an O-line and struggling all over the field in different places and different spots. But now the Steelers have added a lot more depth to the team. They drafted well the year before last, and then they drafted well this year. They drafted real well this year with Mr. Omar Khan at the helms and Coach Tomlin doing some great things and addressing the O-line, adding Broderick Jones, Siamalu. Got both her bigs now. Got Keanu Benton. DeMarvin Leal is coming back healthy. They brought back Larry O.G. They signed Patrick Peterson. Got Keanu Neal here. Signed back DeMonte KZ. And they got JPJ as well. So they got a lot of pieces and a lot of like depth pieces. Cole Holcomb, Elan Roberts, all those guys. They add a lot of different pieces to the team. Kawhi Alexander on the team now too, when we signed a few weeks ago. So they got a lot of depth. A lot of guys you can kind of mix and match with. When you have a lot of depth, you can play with different pieces. Now, having a lot of depth at quarterback position, that's when it gets a little crazy. But like when you have two quarterbacks, they say you have none because you don't know which one to go with. But anywhere else on the field, having a lot of depth is always good because you can like say, okay, he covers well, but he blitzes well. So I can just mix and match and just have them coming in and out, keep those guys fresh so they playing their maximum energy level because they ain't got to be on the field 24/7. And when you have that, you can switch around, keep guys fresh for later in the season. And it also just brings a different element, a different impact for the other team. Opposing team has to adjust too because there's different play styles. So that's why it's great having depth. So the Steelers got a lot of depth. Another thing too I'm happy to see about is Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin, it's another pro because he is coming out there. And we've seen what he did in training camp. And last year he had a lot of promise, but he had injury. He never came back to play. But this year he's fully healthy and he has that first-class speed. You know, I mentioned before, first-class speed, those guys who have that extra gear. You know, most guys in the NFL, they got that coach speed, you know. They like, you know, around them in the middle like that, and the coach is riding regular. And, you know, some guys, they got to drive. You know, they got to drive there. They not even on the plane. And, you know, Tyreek Hill is flying the plane. He got that type of speed. But Calvin Austin is in first class. He ran a 4.3. 4.3. Now, I think the first time was like 4.2 something, but you know the official time was 4.3. He's blazing. We've seen him in training camp just blaze through, catch a slant, and then just crib it to the house. So hopefully he can do some of that for the Steelers this year. This will be his first game in NFL action. We're going to see how he looks. Hopefully he looks amazing. But that's a lot of things I'm happy to see. JPJ is another guy too as well. See his man-to-man defense, his press coverage, and how he can like block guys down and match guys step for step. His arm length is crazy. His wingspan is absolutely crazy. The man is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I think that's the new era of cornerbacks now. Because we see Sauce Gardner last year go out there and win Defensive Rookie of the Year and be first-team All-Pro as a rookie. And has that crazy arm length and that physicality. He might get a little handsy and might get some penalties, but I'd rather have a cornerback be very physical than be a lot of off-ball stuff and playing soft. So we see JPJ going out there playing physical, playing press, not scared to guard up, not doing that zone stuff. Zone is cool and all, but it's better when you have a guy who can just follow him right here and stay with this man, and have a guy you can just say that to and just go out there and do. And him having Patrick Peterson around him and Minka and different guys in the secondary to help him out, he's going to be very special. Now, the cons for the Steelers is they got to put the pieces together. You know, last year we used to complaining all the time, the fans complaining and saying, oh, we got the depth pieces. And we're like telling them, we're saying too, he's like, we need to get more depth, add more guys and get more guys ready. You know, the injuries are happening. And also the O-line was struggling, was missing and matching. Then also the secondary was struggling too. But now we got the pieces we added. You went out there and got the guys you want. You added the pieces in the secondary. You added the pieces in the O-line. So now it's time to put the pieces together and go out there and win some football games. There's no more excuses now. Last year was a rebuild year. The year before that was on the decline to the rebuild year as well. So now it's no more excuses. We should go out there and be able to compete. Go out there and win. We got all the pieces we need. Everybody stay healthy. It'll be great for the season. And we can go out there and do some special things with this amazing team. And my keys to victory, you know, we always do at the end of the video for game previews. My keys to victory for the Steelers is to attack Tampa secondary. I know it's a preseason game, but you want to win every time you're on the field. I know preseason games don't really count, really. They don't count at all. They might, in my opinion, they count for the players to build confidence up and to show them winning culture and show them that winning mentality of what it takes to win an NFL game. But if you're on the field, you want to win. I don't care if it's a scrimmage game. I don't care if it's a practice game. I don't care if it's preseason, regular season, playoff. I don't care what type of game it is. It could be 7-on-7. It could be 2-on-2 football. We want to win every time we step on the field. So we can go out here attack the Tampa Bay secondary, which is their weak spot, and also send blitzes and pressures in because the O-line is still questionable a little bit. And Baker Mayfield most likely is going to be playing. And you know how the Steelers love sacking Baker Mayfield. I know it's just a preseason game. You guys like, we ain't got to put too much effort into it, but you do have to put effort into it because you want to treat every game like it's important so the players can buy into that importance. I already know Coach Tomlin is talking like this is a playoff game probably, going out there and giving those guys pep talks and speeches like this game means everything. And that's good because you want to make sure every game is important and every player gives their all and not just half-ass it through the whole time. So I'm excited to see the preseason game tomorrow to see what happens. My score prediction is Steelers win 24-10. You might be saying, well, you're biased because you're a Steelers fan, but I just go based off of like matching the depth charts and matching the schemes and the players and stuff. Last year, a few times I didn't pick the Steelers to win. Of course, you guys know if you were watching every time. I think the Bills game, I didn't pick us. I didn't pick us to win that Bills game. I didn't pick us to win the Bucs game either. I didn't pick us to win the Dolphins game. I didn't pick us to win. There's a lot of games. There's a couple games I didn't pick us to win. The Eagles game and stuff. Okay, guys, my camera died. But while I was saying that, I'm going to ride my team to the very end. I love the new era for the Steelers. This is going to be a very good era for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go out there and, create a new legacy. The stairway to 7. We got to add more hardware to that trophy case. And this year could be the year, or maybe next year. But we need to get and make some steps to getting there as well. Because I know it might not be you can win it all in this one year right here, but you can build off seasons. And we need to make sure this season is very impactful for our young guys. I don't know if you call them young guys, even though most of them are older than me. But our young guys and our veterans, like Cam Hayward, got to get a Super Bowl ring. We need TJ Watt to get a ring as well. But Cam Hayward got to get a ring. He's the heart and soul of this team, has brought so much fire and put so much blood, sweat, and tears on this field for this team. We got to go out there and win this Super Bowl and get to the Super Bowl. I know it takes step by step. So we're going to start with the preseason, winning those games. And we're going to start winning regular season games and then winning playoff games and then trying to get ourselves to the Super Bowl and try to win some Super Bowls to bring the Steelers back to that stardom level. That's all I got for this video today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.